video we'll be solving another SQL problem from LeetCode. The problem is called exchange seats. So we are given a table seat, and in that we have two columns, ID and student. ID is the primary key, unique key column for this table. Each row of this table indicates the name and the ID of a student. ID is a continuous increment. So we have to write a solution to swap the seat ID of every two consecutive students. If the number of students is odd, the ID of the last student is not swapped. Return the result table ordered by ID in ascending order. So we are given this input table, seat table 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in the output we need, as you can see, for ID 1 we have Abbott in the output, but in the output table we have Doris. As you can see, Abbott and Doris have exchanged. So in place of Abbott we have got Doris, and in place of Doris we have got Abbott. In place of Emerson we have got Green, and in place of Green we have got Emerson. And for the last part we have James. He is not swapped because we don't have anything on the sixth ID. This is the last element, and the number of records are odd, that's why the last element is not swapped. Note that if the number of students is odd, there is no need to change the last one seat. So what we are going to do is, as you can see, in place of Abbott we want Doris, right? So we will use the lead function, and in place of Doris we need the Abbott, so we'll use lag for Doris. Again for Emerson we want lead, and for Green we want lag. For James, so we have to use lead, but if we look at lead, there is no record, right? So it will come out to be null. So for odd IDs we will use the lead function, and for the even IDs we'll use the lag function, and that's how we are going to swap the seats. So let's look at this in action. So what we will do is, we will do a select ID comma student comma, let's do a case when statement, case when ID modulo 2 equal to 0, that is even seats, even IDs. Then what we have to do is, we have to do a lag. So what we'll do is, we'll do a lag of what? ID, lag of student, and we want to go one position back over order by ID, else we will do the lead. Over order by ID, and we'll call this as end as student 2 from seat. So what we have done is, if the modulo comes out to be 0, that means the ID is even. Then we are doing the lag. We are using the lag window function. Else, that means if it is odd, that means the remainder comes out to be 1. That means that ID is odd, that is 1. Then we are doing the lead. So let's run this. So let's see. So in the output, so this is the original column, the input column, and we are trying to create the student 2 column. So for Abbott we have got Doris. In place of Doris we have got Abbott. So their seats are exchanged. For Emerson we have got Green. and in place of green we have got Emerson. So that means the seat for green and Emerson have also switched. But for James we are getting null. So we have to handle this situation as well. So what we will do is we'll use the isNull function. So this is happening when on the odd ID, right? So what we will do is we'll use isNull function, and what we will do is we'll pass on this output. So what it is doing is if this value comes out to be null, which is actually coming null for the ID 5, then we want James as it is. So student. So if this value comes out to be null, then just pass student. Now let's run this again. And now that problem is solved as well. Now we are getting James in the output. So now let's remove this column and let's rename it to student. Now let's run this, and it is accepted. So it was a good problem. So you have to use your brains to actually solve this. So the thing that we did is, first of all, you have to figure out how you're going to use this modulo function. So we are doing this modulo on the ID. So if there is a odd ID, then we are doing the lag. Sorry, if it is the even ID, then we are doing the lag. This is the even ID, so we are doing the lag and we are getting Abbott here. But if it is odd, we are doing the lead, and hence we are getting Doris. But for the last record, that is if the number of students is odd, then you will also get a null. So that's why we have used isNull. So if the last record comes out to be null, then we want student at that place. So I hope you guys understood, but still if you have any doubts, please post them in the comment section and I will try to resolve them. Thank you.